to the tools to develop themselves as citizens, and in a meaningful way, in a way where they're included, where they're comfortable joining in after-school programs, where they're comfortable interacting with their peers. And if you put kids in a situation where they're not really sure it's okay to be who they are, they get behind pretty fast. You need to be able to be comfortable bringing your full identity into the classroom, into the high school, into college, certainly, and explore who you are. Because if you have to act on a pretend identity, you don't really develop your true self.
You go decades
Yes.
without actually expressing yourself, without actually
Absolutely.
developing your personality.
Yeah, we know all about that, don't we? And kids are so good at it too. Kids are so good at taking on that role that they're supposed to, that they think they're supposed to take on, and hiding their true selves.
Yeah,
and that can go either way. Sunday, I was at an event with a bunch of gay teenagers, and there were 8 African American teenage boys. And they acted exactly the way you would expect 8 African American gay teenage boys to act. So there's a lot of this, there's a lot of, ooh girl, a lot of this. Everyone's clothes were very, very tight, everyone's eyebrows were done. And I wondered, as I was watching them and enjoying them, because, the Beyonce, the Single Ladies song came out, they did it. I love watching them do that. But I wonder, is that who they really are? Or has their way of safety, their place of being, turned into, if you're that fabulous gay boy, we like them. They can do hair, they can tell us how to dress, there's a safe place for them.
Right.
So for these kids, their safe place of being is this whole hyper-sexualized gay boy place.
Right, and I don't think you're going to get rid of it in society. There's always going to be that, what do I have to do to be safe? But the idea there is absolutely right. You have to be able to express yourself.
Yes.
There's always going to be peer pressure that's going to be pushing you to conform to whatever your group norms are. But you have to, kids have to know that it's okay, that they don't turn their entire identity into that half an hour of hanging out with friends.
Into that, yeah.
At the same time, I give them a lot of credit for being willing to get out there and add a component of flamboyance, of joviality to the way they behave. They're thrilled to be who they are. A lot of people think that the way to legitimize alternative identities of any kind in our society is to make them seem as much like whatever we think the norm is as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking about racial identities, whether we're talking about gender identities, or we're talking about sexual orientations, they're just like you. But in reality, people are just like themselves, and they shouldn't feel like they have to conform to stereotypes about how normal people act in order to be legitimate. So for me, people who are willing to cross the gender stereotype lines to portray themselves as fun and exciting people, more power to them. Yes, they might be feeling like I have to do this to be in a safe space, but honestly, in a lot of our culture, the safe space is blending in, and the only difference is my partner happens to be a woman, not a man, or a man, not a woman.
Yeah.
Hey, with folks like that, no, they have a whole component of identities that they are enjoying, and they love parts of their selves that they can express that we don't let straight boys express. Maybe they want to as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that I always wonder about the straight boys, because again, the white man in our culture is not allowed to enjoy himself.
That's true.
There's
That's
a
so
very
true.
rigid way of being.
Yeah.
So, how many of them would love to put on a pink tutu and do the Beyonce dance?
Well, and I've talked with some of my friends, some of them white straight males, about the idea, and they don't usually answer. But you talk to guys, or I used to talk to guys about sex with their girlfriends, and they'll start talking about trying on her silk panties in the middle of their evening together, and it's like, do you realize what you are telling me?
Yeah.
You're telling me that on the bell curve, you're not at the extreme.
Yeah. The second you say, well, you fall under the umbrella, they're not trying to hear anything
That's
anymore.
it. It
Yes.
gets shut down. You don't hear any more about it.
It only happened once, and I was really, really drunk.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, and this is what you're saying is it's okay. It's okay.
The kids don't always know it's okay.
Right.
Personally, I feel that if we taught the dynamics of social oppressions, of racism, sexism, etc. in high schools, or at least gave kids a forum to talk about that. Whether it's through the mechanism of debating, pros and cons of the issue in debate teams, whether it's just making it a practice for all the students in high school to have conversations about this stuff, not just in the GSA climate. It would strengthen people's understanding of how to have healthy relationships with each other and of yourself, and accept parts of yourself that are stereotyped. And you're not learning about this in our educational system, which is supposed to be preparing everybody to be part of our society. How well is it doing that if it's not preparing them to be whole in themselves?
Right.
I think there are ways we could look at our education system that's different. We got read and write and arithmetic. How about relationships?
Right.
Good point. Wow.
That would be nice, but right now we're teaching to the test, so there's no
Yeah,
there's no space for musical
There's
education.
no,
right.
there's no child left behind in our society.
Yeah.
No, there are not.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful thing.
Because it's working so well. I wish right now, like we were talking about pulling numbers out of our heads, I wish I could pull the number of LGBT youth who've dropped out of school in Connecticut in the last year. And it's this funny place. Someone was asking me yesterday, she was doing a paper for school, and she asked me how many kids were kicked out of school because they were gay. And what I came up with was, you know what, that's an easy number to fudge, because you've got the kid who left school because everyone teased him. He left school because he was gay. You've got the kid who left school because he was failing every class because people were torturing him and he couldn't concentrate on school. That's a kid who left school because he was gay.
Right.
But it's so rare that it's cut and dried, I left school because of my sexual orientation, so therefore I had
Or
to.
the kids that have been kicked out and expelled because of disciplinary problems. Which
Exactly.
are, dealing with internal dysphoria coming
Yes.
out as aggression.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
see so much of that. The young person I was talking about just a little while ago, that was, I wish that everyone could have met both of those children. I wish that anyone who doesn't get it could have met that pissed off little boy who could not hold it together for 24 hours, and that beautiful little girl who, when we had a new mentee orientation meeting and she was in my office, we get to what is the T, and someone said a man who wants to have a sex change, and this is what this child said. Well, no, being transgender means that you're born into a body that's not the right body for you. Like, my body is a boy's body. If I took off all my clothes, I've got a boy's body. But inside, I'm a girl. So someone like me is transgender. And that's how she explained it, just very nicely, matter-of-factly. No, I don't need to be angry at you for not understanding who I am. I'm here to tell you who I am, and I'm okay with it.
That's very cool.
It was beautiful to watch.
We've got a call. Good evening, nlcTrans. You're on the air.
Hi, it's Cambria.
Hi, Cambria.
Tam.
I just want to say what a fantastic show. I'm learning so much. And just one question, I'm going to let you go. What can I, as part of the straight community, do to support True Colors, your organization?
So much. Let's see, where do we start? You're a straight person, you're open, accepting, be a mentor. We love straight mentors. Our kids need people from their society, from their communities, to be there, to support, to accept, to be there for them. On top of that, they need to know that all straight people are not homophobic, horrible people who hate them. When kids are referred to us, very often, if a kid is referred to me, there's been something that's not okay that's happened in their life. So, they're referred to us, they meet us. We are the coolest, most amazing LGBT people you will ever meet in your life. Everyone wants to hang out with us. The kids come to us and they learn very quickly, True Colors, everything gay, wonderful and perfect. The straight world, kind of scary, we don't want to deal with them at all, they don't like us. So, come in